Greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen, to another exciting episode of Exo Plays Spyro Into the Dragonfly. If I'm not mistaken, this is episode 12. So we've effectively doubled the number of episodes I've put up so far. Because I guess I'm just making really good time. Now that there's nothing left to find in the Dragon Realms. Alright, so we've got one more minigame to play here in Honey Marsh, and then we should be all set for this level, so we go ahead and take care of that. And then we'll wrap up, I guess. I don't know, I guess I'll have to figure it out, because it looks like the way this is panning out, I'm gonna have to play some of the next level. And if I'm gonna start a level, I might as well finish it, so I guess that's just how it's gonna shake out. I was hoping to stop with Honey Marsh here, but I guess I'm gonna have to keep going. So the second gate, it's not here, but it's in a similar looking place. Oh, I love doing this. That's the only time I think I've ever killed an enemy in this game with a head bash. There are a couple of enemies in Spyro 2 where you have to do that, like the bugs and Robotica Farms, which is a level I barely talked about because I was in the middle of my screed on Ripto. But I digress. Yeah, so it's like, on one hand, I do appreciate, level design-wise, that there's more platforming and stuff, and that levels kind of go on longer, but it means that if you miss something, it takes longer to get to it, so there's you know, two sides to it. And the next level we're gonna be playing, it's a bit of a doozy, and it goes on for quite a long time, and there's this one really annoying platforming section, like, right in the middle. So if you have to backtrack, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but I guess we'll have plenty of time to talk about that when we play Thieves' Den in just a minute. Alright, so here's the second gate. Second thought, it might have been easier just to go backwards than to go through the level like normal. But I digress. That's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. Speaking of which, you guys love all those redneck jokes? Just solid writing, that. Any day now, Spyro.
Spyro, that darn BS one of Dragonflies. Can you chase him down the slide so we can get the Dragonfly back? But be careful, he's got a stinger that'd whip my bad back right into shape.
Good lord. Two-eyed Willy. One-eyed monster. I like how the bee is just sitting there. So what this minigame is all about is you have to beat the bee to the end of the slide, and it's not really that hard. Like, compared to the last slide minigame we played, this is a hell of a lot easier. Like, there's more platforming and it goes on longer, but you don't have to worry about your time or anything. You just kind of play it and hop over things. And believe it or not, this is not the last slide we will be playing in Into the Dragonfly, but best not to get too far ahead of myself on that one. Yeah, but there's no chance in hell that bee's gonna catch up to you. It's not like the actual speedway races in this game that can actually be really tricky if you miss something. And I like how Spyro can still accelerate up hills. Does that make sense? And I mean, of course I like it, because this is the best video game of all time, don't you know? And you know, the problem with video games nowadays is that they're just too realistic, you know what I mean? So it's nice when a video game can break the laws of physics and completely destroy your immersion by having physics that are not correct, so just gotta love it. Yeah, but I don't know, I mean, this minigame's okay, there's some platforming in it, it's not too frustrating or boring. There's just enough going on to keep it interesting, but it's just... I guess one thing I just realized that doesn't really make sense is that Spyro drowns if he touches the honey elsewhere in the level, but apparently he can slide down this honey, which doesn't really make sense. How did he get here?
Good job, Spyro! With your help, we managed to stop that bee right in its tracks. He won't be bothering anyone anymore. I got the Dragonfly from him, too! Here you be.
Bee jokes. Gotta love them. I like how the point of this slide was to get there before the bee
Wanna
did.
practice riding down the honey slide again? Funny, that slide's not very sticky. This honey must be of a uniquely unsticky variety.
What the hell? Sandy! Water! You gotta love Tom Kenny. You gotta love him. Anyways, that's it for this level, as far as I can tell. So what I'm gonna do to make my life easier is I'm gonna use the warp feature to get back to the Dragon Realm, so we pop up in front of Bianca, where she continuously respawns over and over again. By the way, Bianca does not have any other role in this plot after the beginning. So, perfectly good waste of a fan favorite character, wouldn't you say? Because she was like the best character of the first 3 games because she was the only one who had any sort of development. You know. And the fact that they bring her back and don't do anything with her is kind of annoying. Like in the GBA Spyro games, she actually plays a pretty big role in terms of being kind of the, you know, out of Spyro, Hunter, and Bianca, she's the one who kind of keeps opening the portal so that Spyro can save whatever realm he happens to be in. So I feel like they really should have done that here and give her something to do, because otherwise just her showing up just seems like it's by the numbers, you know what I mean? And then there she was for a second. Yeah, so when you warp, you show up next to that castle, and I don't know who the castle belongs to, because it's never explained. But I digress. And hey, look, there's not enough stuff here, and we actually get to see 60 frames, so that's kind of neat. I got nothing. Like, what a... I got nothing. I'm not so good with the rhyming thing. No, not really. The good news is that we've only got 2 levels left, and then it's final boss time. One thing I should mention is that Spyro Into the Dragonfly does not have an ending. Or rather, you only get to see the ending if you get 100%, so... And here are the last 2 gems there, so that should take care of this world. Right? Yeah, there we go. They didn't play the sound effect for some reason. That's it for the Dragon Realms. And look, it's our buddy friend Thief.
Wow, you're even shiftier than me.
D. Bradley Baker.
Magic to make this carpet fly up and away. Hop aboard.
It's kind of weird how, like, the most noteworthy role that I could think of for D. Bradley Baker is Chairman Tarlock from Korra. Because that was just like his best performance, I think. And then you can also look on his resume, and somewhere buried in it will say, Thief, Spyro Into the Dragonfly. I'm pretty sure he also voiced a couple other characters in this game, but, you know. Usually he's in SpongeBob too, along with Tom Kenny, and usually he'll voice like the really sarcastic characters. Okay, so this is Thieves' Den. This gets my vote for the worst level in the game. And my reasoning for that is it just goes on way too long. This level just drags. There's way too many things to keep track of, and well, I guess I'll show you guys in a second after we talk to Thief Man here.
The Rip Talk Wizards have turned our treasure into monsters. Can you do anything to help us?
Right, whatever you say, D. Bradley Baker, and look at that! Look at those little legs, I love it. Which is the only use for the wing shield in this game, I might add. Because, you know, you might have noticed I have barely even used this thing. And okay, so, one thing I really hated about Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 is that, you know, enemies just weren't annoying enough, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, as much as I joke about this game having enemies that you barely have to try on, it's just like, look at this. You have to aim your wing shield, which I think was a great idea. Because otherwise, these enemies would be just too easy to defeat. So we have to waste time. You have to waste time. I mean, you have to spend time valuable time that will enhance your life and extend it. Slightly moving Spyro around until the wing shield will somehow deflect, until the wing shield will deflect the spell where it's supposed to go. You might have noticed that when you kill those wizard reptocs, the sound effect that they make even sticks around, so they couldn't even be bothered to deactivate that. By the way, that model looks suspiciously like the PlayStation 1. So I think they just literally reused the same model from the PS1 games, but I don't know. What do I know? For all I know, it could just be a shittier looking model. Because it doesn't look as good as the actual baskets in this game, so. And these guys will only shoot at you when you get in range, so you just kind of have to, like, get slightly in front of them. And what's annoying is that you have to press L and R to activate the shield, but the L button swaps your breath, and the R button opens your inventory. That's what's so great about it, is that it keeps you on your toes, because you wouldn't want the video game to be too easy, would you? So all you can really do is just kind of keep moving Spyro slightly until the thing deflects, and just sarcasm aside, I do want to say that this is genuinely the most annoying thing in the game, are these enemies right here. Because it just feels like when you hit them that it's luck, and it really shouldn't be like this. It should just be, you turn on the wing shield, they die. It shouldn't be like an Einstein project to hit these guys with their own spells, but for some reason, it just goes where, the spell just goes where the fuck it wants, and it's really irritating. And it takes like 10 minutes to kill these things, when it really should take like no effort. I mean, I know that that's contradictory because I complain about the enemies in these Spyro games being too easy all the time. But it's just like, this isn't what I meant as an improvement. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe give the guys multiple hits and maybe make it so that you have to hit him with a certain breath depending on what his color is. Like, there are ways to make the enemy design more interesting that doesn't involve this. You know? So it's like, God, fuck that. Fuck those enemies. They're the worst part of this game. Like, I hate the final boss too, and that's pretty bad, but it's like, there are like 10 of these guys, and each one of them takes just as long to defeat as the last because of how bad the hitboxes work, or, you know, how bad the spell deflection is. And that I do find pretty annoying, so, yeah. If you guys wanted to see me rage at something in this playthrough, that'll be it. That's my biggest complaint right there. So those enemies are fucking terrible. It's really something they should have fixed when they, because it's like, how hard is it to program a deflection? Like, honestly, can't imagine it's that difficult. So how did they screw that up? Like, you know, crunch time, rush development aside, how did they screw that up? But I digress. Anyways, here's another guy. If you stand too close, I find that it doesn't work very well either. Like, I got lucky there, trust me. I think there's another guy up there, so I'll take it, because it reduces the amount of time I have to spend twirling around until it actually works. And remember what I said about power pickups being kind of haphazardly scattered about? I feel like that very much applies to Thieves' Den. Like, and I don't know, I guess I'd even say that this is probably the weakest level theme in the game as well. Not visually, I mean the soundtrack wise. Is that the soundtrack for this, the track that plays for this, the piece, as a certain innocent Christoph Gavin would say, is weaker in this level. I just don't think it's as good as some of the other. Okay, I think I found the secret. Is that perhaps what I've been doing wrong this entire time is that I haven't been standing close enough to them. Either that or I'm just getting lucky here. Because usually it takes me forever to kill them. But you know, I stand by it. Even if I've been doing it wrong, it should be possible to do that wrong, you know? Something so simple. I feel like that's the game's fault if the spell is deflecting in the wrong direction for no good reason. But I digress. We're gonna go ahead and climb upstairs here. And believe me, like, the first half of this level is fine. it's like the second half onwards where it gets bad, and we're kind of coming up on that, so to speak. And I just flew all over the place. Yeah, but... So this is kind of the point where I don't really know how the PS2 version compares. Pretty much everyone in the comments has been telling me that the GameCube version is better, so... That was pretty much where I was anyway, so I guess I'll just believe it, but it's just... I would be interested to see how Thieves' Den runs on PS2. Like if it's really bad or something. You know, for a game with PS2 quality graphics, it sure ran pretty badly on PS2. Yeah, so I guess if you stand too close, then it just doesn't work. You gotta stand like just the perfect distance. Alright, let's give this a shot. By the way, don't you love that incantation he makes? Isn't that great? There you go, finally got him. You wanna know what the most insulting thing about those enemies is? Is later on, we're gonna fight one in one of the minigame areas that you can kill with your flame breath. Which is just irritating, like they couldn't have put a different enemy there or something? Or just kept the same rules, or... I don't know, I find that kind of inconsistency really jarring and irritating. And shameful. But it's brilliant because this game is great, or whatever I've been going on about. Alright, come on, pal. I don't have all day. I don't know why this has to be such an ordeal. Or an ord-eel, as 8-bit theater would call it. And look at this. This is a thing I have to do in this video game. Like, I can't even muster up sarcasm for this. It's just, why? Why is this a thing that can happen into the Dragonfly? Why did they... Because it makes Windshield just come off as so useless. Why would I want to kill enemies this way? You know what I mean? Like, I guess I've got to give credit for the Hero's Tale on this one. Alright, come on, buddy. There we go, got the motherfucker. We still have 4 more of them. Like, I remember the last time I played this game, or the very first time I played this game, I just ran past them, because I didn't care. This is before I became super mega completionist, obviously, but... Ugh. And it's just like, this level is still going. Like, if you were playing Monkey Monastery, we would have been done by now.
Hey, it's Jordan.
Hopefully I get to keep that one. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. Looks like the camera is stuck. Okay, this is a new one. Okay, this is new. I've never seen this. It's gonna make me respawn the level, isn't it? I can't even open the menu. I'm stuck. Good lord. Alright, I think I've uncovered kind of a fatal glitch here. You guys know what I've been saying about trying to find a place to stop in this game. I think I found it. Or rather, it's found me. Because that's pretty bad, I must admit. And I'm just stuck. I can't move the camera. I can't open the menu. I don't even know if it's saved properly, so... I don't know, I guess the only choice I have is to reset the console. So I guess I'll have to give that a shot real quick. Here we go. Brace yourselves for 480i, because when I reset the game, it changes the video mode back to what it's supposed to be. So I guess we'll get to see if I get to keep my Dragonfly that I got. Either way, I'm gonna have to start the level over again, or at the beginning rather. So might as well cut off here, I guess. Let's see what we got. Anytime now. Anytime you're ready. There we go. Alright, so let's take a quick peek at the atlas then and see where we're at. By the way, this is what Bob de-interlacing looks like. Okay, so it did not save any of that. Well, okay, so I guess the good news is that I didn't lose anything in terms of previous levels. Like, I've still got everything I got from the other 7 levels, but everything we just did just got undone. Which is irritating, frankly. I'll see you guys next time.